I'm Joel Barker, and I'm a futurist. I've spent the majority of my life working with corporations, institutions, and governments all over the world, helping them anticipate, identify, and effectively take advantage of change. Through my work, a fundamental rule has become clear. Finding the answer to a problem is just the first part of the solution. Why is this true? Because we often do not foresee the unintended consequences of our solutions. How often have we been involved in a decision that makes sense at the time, only to cause a cascade of problems as time goes on? So one of your most important tasks is not just to find a solution, but to identify the long-term implications of the solution, both positive and negative, so you can better understand what you are getting into. And this is where the implications wheel comes in. In all my experience, no other tool does a better job at helping organizations understand the full impact of both good and bad decisions. Before we get into the details of the implications wheel, let me give you an analogy to explain how it works. Think back to the wagon trains that crossed the Great Plains of America in the 19th century. Before the wagon masters rolled the wagons, they sent out their scouts for several very good reasons. They wanted to get the lay of the land, to discover any risks that were out there, and any benefits that the wagon train could take advantage of, like green grass and fresh water and firewood. Good scouting involves the following attributes. Speed. A slow scout has no value. Scatter. Going off in different directions so that more territory is covered. Sampling. Because the scouts are riding fast, they can't stop and measure everything. But they do come back with qualitative information that is very useful for the wagon master. And mapping. A scout has to be able to draw useful maps. Otherwise, their knowledge has little use. The implications wheel is a structured discussion process for scouting the future. It works by having you and your fellow collaborators identify short and long-term implications that might develop as a result of some change. The trigger to the change could be an innovation, yours or your competitors, an emerging trend, a new federal regulation, a new internal policy, a significant event of some kind, a new strategic objective. The implications wheel is called a wheel because it is circular in structure. It's very simple to fill one out doing one layer at a time. The pattern looks like this. It starts with the center, like the hub of a wheel. Into the center goes the topic you want to explore. Then the first ring of implications is generated. Each possible implication is a direct consequence of the center, with no significant intervening events between it and the center. We call them first-order implications. The next ring is made up of second-order implications. They are a direct result of the first-order implications with no significant intervening events between the first and the second order. Obviously, the third ring is made up of third-order implications. As you can see, using the implications wheel expands the reach of your strategic thinking far wider and more comprehensively than the discussions we typically have. You get a map of connected implications so you can see the potential pathways to the good implications and the bad implications. And beyond the map of good and bad implications, which is extremely valuable all by itself, the process has effective strategies to assess the risks and rewards of your discoveries. There is a scoring process to identify both the value and the likelihood of each implication. There is a tagging system so you can connect implications with certain groups or functions. And there is a summary system that allows you to highlight the most important implications. This allows you to be able to ask questions like, where is the best place to put up a barrier to a high-threat implication? Where is the most effective place to build a bridge to a high-benefit implication? The structure of the implications wheel makes it easier to determine and act on these kinds of questions. This kind of information allows you to create much more thoughtful strategic plans to achieve your goals and aspirations.